Hi everyone, Amber here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showing you guys how to make the super cute paper Matchbox suitcase. So as you can see here, the inside just pulls out. It's super cute, super functional. It will be great for so many things. I'm just showing you here the mini album I created to go inside of it. I cannot wait to add photos to that. I think this whole project is super adorable. So if you have been following me for a while, you may have seen this other paper suitcase tutorial I did. I will leave a link to that down below if you want to check it out. You can see here that this one actually has straps to hold it closed and it opens like an actual suitcase. While I love this design and I love making it still to this day, the straps can be a bit of a hassle to work with. So I wanted to come up with an alternative to that. So I decided to try a Matchbox as a base. And I like that this way the inside just pulls out. It's so much easier to open, and it has faux straps so they don't actually open, and that means that you can decorate the cover of the suitcase as much as you want. So I just love that about this project. So we are just going to dive into making this. I will leave all of the measurements listed down below in the description box as always, so it's easier to follow along. So we are going to need 2 pieces of paper for the base of the project. So for the outside of the suitcase or the sleeve of the Matchbox, we need a piece that measures 4.5 by 11 inches, and we are going to score that at 3.5, 4 3/4, 8 1/4, and 9.5 inches. So as you can see, I've already scored and folded and stitched mine off camera just so this video is a quicker, easier process to film. And now for the box part of the Matchbox, you need a piece of paper that measures 6 7/8 of an inch by 5 7/8 of an inch, and you're going to score all 4 sides at 1 1/4 inch. So with that done, the majority of the project and scoring is out of the way. So I'm going to start with the sleeve of the project. So you want to fold up on all of your score lines. I'm just showing you here what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to refold mine so they're nice and crisp and the project looks super neat. So you want to add some adhesive to this large tab here. And I'm going to be using 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I use score tape. I get it off Amazon. It's a good price and it holds decently. I wouldn't recommend it for anything that needs a lot of strength, but for this kind of project, it works great. So I'm just adding 3 strips of that to this tab. I'm removing the backing, and then I'm just going to try to layer everything up nice and evenly so it's a nice edge, and then I'm going to adhere it down. And I like to use my scoring tool to kind of smooth everything out and make sure that it's super attached. And that is the sleeve, which is the outside of the suitcase, done and ready to go. So now for the box part, I already have everything stitched, and I'm just going to fold up on my score lines again. And then this is super easy. All you have to do is, you will see 4 squares, 1 in each corner, and you're just going to cut up on that score line so you'll have a little separation here. And then you're going to cut at an angle to make a little tab. Then you're going to rotate the paper once and do the same thing. So cut and turn it into a tab, rotate the paper again, cut and turn it into a tab, and then do that one more time. So I love making any kind of project that involves a box. I was intimidated by them at first, but now I just love making boxes of all sizes for paper crafts. So then you're going to fold all your tabs in, and you're going to add some more of your adhesive. So again, I'm using my 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and I'm adding 3 small strips to each little tab here. And then I am just going to remove the backing and slowly piece together this box. So this project is super quick. That's why I love it. To make the base of it, when I made my first one, it took probably half an hour because I had to first figure out all of the measurements. But once that was done, it was the embellishing and decorating that took the longest part. So I'm not going to include that in this process video, but I will include pictures of this finalized project. So now that the adhesive is down, I remove the backing of all the tape and I am just slowly making sure everything lines up evenly and then adhering it together. And again, using my scoring tool to really smooth everything out. And that is the inside part of the suitcase done. So now we basically have a matchbox. So you could totally stop here if you don't want to turn this into a suitcase and just use this for a different type of goodie bag or goodie box to hold a little gift if you are giving something to someone. But I am going to make this into a suitcase, of course. So first we are going to start with the little corner protectors and the buckles. So I used some gold polka dot paper and a 1-inch circle punch, and I am just putting that into my scoreboard and scoring at 1/2 inch, and then rotating it 90 degrees and scoring at 1/2 inch again. Then I am going to cut all of my 4 circles, you will need 4 of them, in half. So I'm just trying to cut as evenly as I can. Sometimes it's hard with score lines. You'll end up with more on one side than the other, but I just trim that off if need be. And then I am going to fold all of those little pieces in half, and that will act as the little corner protectors. I don't know what those are actually called. If you know, let me know down in the comments below because I have no idea. But yeah, so I'm just going to fold all of those in half on those score lines, and then I use hot glue to adhere these down. I actually only have 1 hot glue stick left, and I don't know when I'm going to make it to the store, so I am going a bit sparingly with the glue here just to make it last. But all you want to do is add a little bit of glue to each side of your half circle there, and then you're just going to put the straight edge along the edge of your suitcase and glue it down like that. So pretty straightforward, super easy. Just this part's a bit time consuming. It's all those little details that really make the whole process longer. So that is one side done, and then you just have to flip it over and repeat the process on the back of the suitcase. And then next we will be moving on to the faux straps. So that is part of my video that got a little bit weird. My camera shut off because my memory card was full, but it wasn't full. So I'll try to hopefully explain any bit of that. It's really easy, really straightforward, but yeah, that got a bit cut off. So here are all of the corner protectors on, and now it's time to move on to the straps. So I am using strips of paper that measure 1/2 inch by 12 inches, and I just added 1 little stitch down the length of them to keep with the whole stitching aspect of this project. And now I'm taking my 1/4 inch double-sided tape again and running that along the whole length of this. So since these straps are fake, we're just going to glue the entirety of them down. It's just for looks. So I added tape to the entire back of it. And now I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch on this side, so that way altogether it's like 1 inch from the edge to the other edge of the strap, if that makes sense. So then I'm just going to slowly try to keep it as even as possible, and I'm going to slowly adhere those down. So this is where I think the camera shuts off, but you get to see most of the process anyway, so that's good. So I'm just going to secure that one down, and then I am adding the other strap here. And once it is glued down, you can kind of use your fingers to crease the corners and make it look a bit neater. So now for the handle of the suitcase, I am taking this piece of paper that measures 1 inch by 5 inches, and I'm scoring at 1 inch on both sides, and then I am folding up on those score lines. This will just make the handle look more realistic. And then I'm going to use hot glue to adhere it down like so. So usually I would use double-sided tape, but I find that hot glue is just more secure, especially if you're putting stuff in this and you're going to carry it by the handle. You want to make sure it's not going to fall off. So that's why I'm using hot glue. Also, it dries fast, always a bonus. So once that is done, all that's left to do is add our little buckles. So I'm using the same gold polka dot paper as I used for the corner protectors. And I like to use foam tape to adhere these down just because it adds dimension, makes them kind of pop, and makes it look, again, just more realistic. So I'm just using some foam tape. The foam tape I use is from the Dollar Tree. It's super sticky and works really well. So I just added a little square to each side here, and then I'm just securing that down. And then I'm going to do the same to the other buckle. So my buckles measure 1/2 inch by 1 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to add that second one here. And I don't know how it happened since my straps were the same length, but they were a little bit uneven. So not sure how that happened, but once I decorate it, it won't be noticeable. So that is the finished suitcase. Here are some photos of it all decorated up, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do decide to make this project, I would love to see it and share it on my Instagram, so be sure to tag me. My Instagram is @Bambi'sMail. I will leave a link to that down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Take care and happy crafting. Bye.